secular stew, only with a bit more roasting, probably getting a bit more toasted, and it's only us two. And I'm Bradley, I bring the crazy, for a couple anti-fascist dudes, fighting right-wing extremist views. The Progressive House Podcast. It's a little choppy. We'll work on it.
Yeah, probably need to lower the volume a bit on it too, I guess.
Yeah, that's something we'll have to work on. Get it just right. Hello, everybody.
No, we're just going to continue to screw up like over and over again.
I know. Yeah,
maybe that becomes our brand. We're like
right
the two screw ups.
We're the fuck ups. You know?
That's what we do. That's how we operate. So no one will have to worry about holding to our standard, because our standard is a giant pile of crap.
It's just the lowest bar possible.
Exactly.
But I did want to talk about this controversy or controversy.
Am I ready for this? Is this something I can handle?
It's pretty. I mean, this is a big one. Okay, so you better, get ready, buckle up.
I am sitting down.
Fucking good.
Right. Should I stand up? Oh wait, I'm not wearing pants, so no.
No, don't stand up then.
Okay.
Don't do that, because we can get us banned on YouTube.
Gotcha.
So there's this whole thing with Goofy, right? And everybody's like, "What's Goofy?" Because you got Pluto, and Pluto's a dog, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, Goofy's a dog," but they're like, they can't have Pluto be a dog and Goofy be a dog. Not to mention Goofy, like you said, like he falls in love with what was the
Clarabelle, right?
Clarabelle, yeah, the cow.
She's a cow. So Mickey's a mouse, and he's with Minnie, who's a mouse. Then you have Donald and whatever her name is, Daisy. Daisy.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're both ducks. So based on this universe they're in, this is where we're at.
That's right.
So Goofy would then, because Clarabelle's very clearly a cow, so Goofy therefore is a cow.
And he's got the floppy ears too. Like it's like, and because the cows that they draw look weird. They have like floppy ears, right?
I mean, they're also bipedal, so that throws things off.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So
here's the thing. Turns out, no, he's a fucking dog, which again doesn't make any fucking sense.
Wait, who's the authority on this? Who said that he was a dog? Who?
Apparently, okay, so it was on corrections of Seth Meyers show. Seth Meyers is Seth. Is it Seth Meyers?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't know. Anyway, the late night show guy, he does corrections, right?
Okay.
And he said they get like nerds that like really look in, and it was like apparently from people that worked at Disney that said that no, he is a dog. So I have a fan theory, right? And so that part in Fantasia where Mickey's wearing the magical dunce cap.
Okay.
And maybe he spilled his cauldron on like a weird dog, right? And that's where Goofy comes from.
Sure.
He was able to talk, and I mean, because Pluto, I mean, you can't have Goofy and Pluto both be dogs. That just doesn't make any fucking sense.
But Goofy is a dog, because I totally once heard Bugs Bunny say to him, "What's up, dog?"
Oh,
but I might have heard that wrong.
It smells like up dog in here. Yeah. That's a deep cut.
No, you just made me groan. That was a groan. That was an audible groan.
Hello, everybody. This is the Progressive Pals podcast. Two progress bros coming from the worst place for leftists to live in. I am Brantley, and I'm from Florida.
And I'm Benjamin, and I'm from Texas. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I didn't mean for that to sound like a question. Just more professionalism coming at you.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're like, it is. I mean, you're like, is that the worst? I mean, it's like we're kind of in a perpetual like competition for like who's worse.
Does it matter where you live right now?
Yes. I mean, not for us because we're white guys.
Right. Okay, fair enough. Because they are very possibly getting rid of Roe versus Wade, and that's a whole mess.
Yeah, and like we double. I mean, we've got double the time that y'all got, more than double the time that women in Texas get. We at least get like 15 weeks is what it looks like they're trying to go for.
If it's just not good altogether, so.
Yeah. But boy, we got a good great show planned today. There was a lot of shit going on.
Are you sure it's great, Brent? Because I've always heard that if you have to tell somebody something is something, then it's not. Like if I had to tell you I'm cool, I'm not cool. If I have to tell you I'm smart, I'm not smart. So if you're saying this show is great, it's not great.
But Seth Meyers always starts his show. We got a great show for you tonight. And I got,
wow.
That's who I base everything off of, is Seth Meyers.
Really? So just okay. Just copy and paste his jokes, insert here.
Yeah.
Go from there, right? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. I mean, that's not really the best move.
I got the opening banter from Corrections. So, it's
well, no, you didn't get it. Did you copy it?
No, I just added upon it,
You were inspired by.
There you go. Inspired.
As with all art, it is inspired by something else. In this case, your muse is Seth Meyers, apparently.
Yes. He's probably my favorite. He's very good at what he does. But we have starting out, we have one of our favorites, is NT Green, dressed very weird. Honestly, I'm going to be straight up here. Like she seems like she's dressed very strangely from what we're used to seeing.
Okay.
As far as how she looks, right? I mean, look at this. This is like a whole like I'm like a mom's mom get up, right? When usually it's like she's wearing like aviators, smoking a cigarette with like an AR-15.
Right, she's
like army pants.
High-fiving a soldier and a cop at the same time. Yes.
Yeah.
I get it. But so the thing is, every time that her name, I see it written down, I always see the MTG, and all I can think of is Magic the Gathering.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Every time in my brain, and I probably just added that to someone else's brain, and I'm sorry.
Because they put that, and it kind of pisses me off that they put that, because it's like, it's like RBG, and like all the cool like progressives like get like 3 letters, right? And so she did it, for that reason. Well, actually, they said for Ocasio Cortez, it was she wanted to be more like her. You know what I mean?
I was just trying to match AOC. She's like, "Well, I'm MTG, right, bro?"
Exactly. And it's like, no.
It's the same thing as the "Let's Go Brandon" thing. They're like, "I want to be like the cool kids. Let's come up with our own inside joke. Let's go, Brandon."
So pathetic.
And if you see anybody with a "Let's Go Brandon" shirt on or a hat, you walk up to them and you say, "Why don't you just say it? Why are you such a snowflake that you can't just say it?"
Right. What are you, in kindergarten? Like
you're too much of a snowflake to say "fuck Joe Biden," then you're a real snowflake. Turn it back on.
Seriously.
Give it to him.
Seriously. But this is insane what she's saying here. So, again, so she's dressed weird, and she's got weird things to say. So let's go ahead and hear what she has to say.
All right.
What it is it's Satan's controlling the church.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there.
Wait, the church is bad right now. We called it. We called it, Brent. We called it.
The church is
next. The Republicans are going to be the bad guys. The church is the bad guy.
Oh, that's
Satan's
true.
controlling everything because the church isn't doing what you want.
That's true.
Satan.
Yeah, Satan. It's got to be, Satan's
got control of everything, bro.
Well, I wouldn't surprise me if she's already said at one point, like, Satan's in control of the Republican Party. Like, I bet you she said that before, but like referring to like fucking Mitch McConnell because he didn't overturn the election or whatever, right?
Right. No, because Mitch McConnell called them an insurrectionist, just like they turned on Ted Cruz for saying the same thing. He used the word insurrectionist and they flipped on him.
Oh my God. And that's why he had to go on and do that cringy, embarrassing, like, apology to Tuckums. Oh, it's disgusting.
but no, so I guarantee you what happened here is that she is saying some things that somebody in some church is like, this chick is crazy. Like, they're finally catching a little wise, and they're like, okay, like, we got to back off this Magic the Gathering chick for a bit.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do an interview right here in my really fancy house.
In TM, whatever that is.
And here's what I'm going to do.
Wait, is it a T or an I?
Is that a cross? It's
like a cross, but it's like interwoven with an M.
Doesn't matter. That's just the logo, Brent.
It's trademarked. You know what I mean?
Right? Magic the Gathering TM.
That's it.
But anyway,
outfit.
So she's in here. She's going to be like the church. Satan's in control now. That church is something bad about me. I don't like it. Satan's in control. Woo.
Yeah. But listen to why. This is where it gets really crazy.
Oh, there's a why. Okay, even better.
Yeah.
Church is not doing its job. And it's not adhering to the teachings of Christ.
Such as?
It's not adhering to what the Word of God says we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to live. And what they're doing by saying, oh, we have to love these people and take care of these migrants and love one another. This is loving.
Yes. Yeah, dude. Like that's like she's saying. Like you hear her kind of like trip over herself. She's like, Christ says for us to love one another. But not migrants though. Not migrants. They're not
literally
they're not people. I mean,
You're talking about Jesus that hung out with whores,
right?
That's in the Bible.
Yeah.
And Jesus himself was an immigrant to another country.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's a good point.
If you want to look at it that way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was definitely a subjugated class, right? Wasn't that?
Yeah, he was in a subjugated class, taking care of the poor.
Yeah. See,
not following the word of God in the Bible, where it talks about how to give someone a miscarriage.
Yeah, exactly. Forced.
Like if your wife gets pregnant through adultery, here's a way to get her to have a miscarriage, which would therefore, what's the word abortion mean?
Yeah, exactly. And it's even worse than that. It's if the man just thinks that she may have gotten pregnant from someone other than him, they force the abortion. Numbers chapter 5. Look it up.
That lady may not be carrying my seed, so let's make her drink this bile mixture until she miscarries.
Exactly. What the fuck? Jesus Christ.
It's cool. Religion's been controlling women for a long time. They're just choosing how to control them differently now.
Right? And I guess as long as you dress like this, then that's you like it.
Because she's at home and she's in a relaxed mom mode. Like that's her around the house gear.
Yeah, you're right. She is at home, isn't she?
Yeah. Well, or they're making her look like she's at home.
Right. It's like
may not be her house. No, it's like this dude's house. She's like, I just came over, but let's make it look like my house. It's cool.
Yeah. It's totally the Will and Grace like set, and
right.
Jesus Christ.
Right, I don't think she would use the Will and Grace set. Let's be real.
Oh, that's probably true.
Yeah,
it's like 2.5 Men. I'm sorry, I meant 2.5 Men. 2.5 Men.
Yeah.
Yes, we are supposed to love one another, but their definition of what love one another means destroying our laws. It means completely perverting what our Constitution says.
How?
It means taking unreal
How?
advantage of the.
Because we have to love people
How?
that are like a different color than our skin. Like,
I don't.
is that what it is?
Not even that. And she's no. She is when she's saying you have to love everyone. She is talking about anybody in that not straight realm.
Oh.
Like, you're not straight. We have to love them, and we have to change our laws. We have to change our. But it's this common move by the right where they just say things without anything to back it up. How?
Right.
Is it causing you to change your laws in a negative way? How is it causing you to go against the Constitution?
Yeah. Yeah. And it what she, and she won't say, it's just going to be it's just this is the way I interpret not only the Bible, but the Constitution and, all the other things that are up for interpretation,
So, and the thing is, that's why they do interviews like this, where it's interviews with someone who agrees with them so they can sit here and just rattle off these buzzwords until they get what they want. Because now you hear her unchallenged saying they're ruining our Constitution, they're ruining our country because we're supposed to love everyone. Right. And she's saying it in such a way where she can't be too challenged because she's not just saying, because we've seen some of these far right preachers out there that are like murder all the gays. Oh, right. Yeah. But she knows she can't say that. So she's like, well, we love them, but we don't have to love them enough to change our laws. We don't have to love them enough for them to be treated like full humans.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's really fucked up, man. It's like it's such a fucked up. It's a fucked up like way to get to to interpret both the Constitution and the Bible. It's just
yeah.
Because again, like I would much rather be like cool like with a Christian that has like more humanist views than an atheist that is David Silverman. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But he's since backed away from atheist activism though.
Oh, because he really?
He was bullied, essentially. It's his version of events.
Yeah, he was totally totes my goats bullied. Yep,
but it's just this whole entire thing, the grand scheme of things. So we saw that one video of that lady, right, who was that Michigan congresswoman, I believe, where she was just going off about how all this stuff is insane. Essentially, she's like, I am a Christian mother, but people are people and should have the rights to be their own people, whatever they believe, as long as they aren't hurting someone else or themselves. Why would we dare stop them? I can get on board with a Christian like that all day. I have no problem with a Christian. I personally don't believe. I have no problem with it. You want to believe that, believe that. That's on you. I mean, we can talk about it all day. I'm not going to be mean, angry, spiteful, hateful to you. We can talk about it. I can tell you my side of it. But as long as you believe, I don't care what your politics are, as long as you believe that every single human being has the right to live their way, as long as they're not hurting themselves, like directly, or like hurting other people, not affecting other people's rights. I don't care.
And that's really
what you believe. We're friends. I'm cool.
Yeah, and that's really what it boils down to is like, are you like, do you want to take away rights from other people? Because that's what, and if that's their politics, like their politics are to take away rights from other people, then I do disagree with their politics. I could give a fuck less where they think the universe came from.
And if you're voting for politicians that are enacting these laws or fighting for these laws that are hurting people from living their own lives, I have a problem with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'll fight you with every breath I got. Seriously. All right, let's let her finish up real quick here.
The American taxpayer. And it means pushing a globalist policy on the American people and forcing America to become something that we are not supposed to be. What it is it's
supposed to be.
What the fuck?
What does that mean?
Where's this globalist shit? This is like Alex Jones shit, you know? All right, the globalists are all coming for us. Like, what does that mean? Like, does globalist mean to them like one world government people? Is that what globalist means?
I don't. So it just sounds scary. That's all she's saying. She's saying a scary word. Because let's look at it this way, right? Like, we all live in a neighborhood together, and in our neighborhood is this family, that family, this family. You know, there's 6 families in our cul-de-sac, for example, right?
Sure.
We all have different beliefs on things. And in my house, you know, we run our household with our rules and our household rules. Now, if I find out that John across the street has these household rules that are different than mine, and I evaluate his household rules, and I'm like, wow, let's actually look at those. How is this going to affect my family and my house? Wait, you know what, John? Those are actually good rules.
But he puts the knives where the spoons are supposed to go. He puts the knives where the spoons are supposed to go.
You're missing the point, Brent.
No, look, you can't do that. All right?
No. Stop it. Stop. No. So the thing is, like, so John across the street, John's got this new set of rules that I didn't even freaking consider. But I'm going to sit there and go, you know what? That's not this household. That is not our rules. That is not what we're supposed to do. Right. Even though it's way better and people can just be happy and actually better for us overall if we have a happier country with happier people. Because guess what? In capitalism, you know what happier people do? They produce more.
Yeah. Tends to work that way. Like, the more happy a population, the more production.
The more they produce. So if you believe in this capitalistic hellscape, then here you go. Make people happy.
Right. Let them be happy, you know? Let them have the means for production.
And let the majority be happy, because let's be real. We're the majority now.
Right. That is true.
Like, I believe that people that are, no matter what your spectrum of belief is, or your spectrum of sexuality, or your spectrum of gender, guess what? Have a good life. Be happy.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Just do you, you know, as long as
we're the majority.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And we really are. That's the thing that's so freaky, man. Like, they haven't won an election in, like, you know, a popular vote. These people that want to take away everybody's rights except for their white, straight, Christian, cisgendered, you know, folks, like, they haven't won a popular vote in what, like 3 fucking decades?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we 4? Also aren't just the problem is, it's not been 4 decades. The problem is, we're not just this majority. It's we're more of a majority than you see in, say, the 2016 election, where Trump lost the popular vote, but we had the whole electoral college mess, which is a whole nother side tangent. But anyway,
yeah, which is so
stupid. Let's look at those percentages, though, where it was a very small percentage that lent more towards the popular vote against Trump. But the reality is, there's more of us out there. We're just not showing up to vote.
Yeah, that is a problem. Like that's a big fucking problem. We need to get out and vote. Like, Republicans fucking vote.
And not just the biggest issue. So what they're doing now is, because a lot of people showed up to vote for Biden, but what they're doing now is they're infiltrating school systems. They're infiltrating city councils. They're infiltrating counties. They're infiltrating on the small level now.
Yeah.
So you need to be voting in every election for everything.
And if you're down here in Florida, they're trying to make as many stupid kids as humanly fucking possible, so that they get as many Republicans as humanly fucking possible. Yes. You know,
because an uninformed and uneducated mass is easier to control.
That's why they don't do the Common Core, like we're like go against it. Does Texas go against Common Core as well?
I'm not 100%. Probably. It's like, this is new and different. Hell no.
Yeah. It's like we don't need some standardized, like, federal standard.
No,
we want our own, like, idiot standard, Jesus Christ.
Right?
Ugh, so pathetic.
Ugh.
But yeah, and then they indoctrinate and call it anything that's not their indoctrination.
Well, yeah, that's what you do. You just call what other people are doing. It's, like propaganda.
Right. Exactly.
You can't tell me all of the pamphlets and other stuff they put out, like random nonsense, isn't just pure and utter pop propaganda. Like the video we just watched wasn't just pure and utter propaganda. She is sitting in her house interviewing with somebody who agrees with her and just rattling off whatever she wants. So that airs on the internet. I see a video on the internet where she's looking like she's in an interview, because we don't have the old school format where you had to go on the national news and you had to sit with a reporter who's just on your side. Right. Or not necessarily on your side, but a reporter that is going to challenge you at some point. Not just going to let you rattle off whatever you feel like. But now we have the internet, so you can just sit with whatever jerk wants to sit with you.
Yeah.
And you can say whatever you want, and they just nod their head, and they're like, yeah. Well, that sounds real good.
You can go on the fucking Stu Peters show, and he's just gonna bat shit it up even more, So.
Can we get on the Stu Peters show? How do I do that?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to check.
You should ask.
He probably has like a guest list of some sort. Sure. Would you like to appear on this Stu Peters show?
Let's do it. Put it in. We'll go talk to Stu.
We'll send him a really polite email, and we should let him. We should like send. I think we're small enough that he wouldn't know. And I doubt they do their due diligence. And we can just say we're from another podcast and see how we can get, if we can get on. It's happened before. Before.
I know. I'm just kind of torn with being deceptive like that.
Being deceptive, yeah.
I understand it's being deceptive with good reason, but I always hate rationalizing being deceptive, because then that's a terrible, terrible thing to start doing.
Then you're deceiving yourself as well. So,
whoa, bro, wasn't ready for me not to be blown.
So this is a video of Shane Vaughn. One of my faves. And it's he's still obsessed with Trump. I mean, it's crazy. It's like, I don't know who sits here and watches him say this shit week after week, and it's continuously entertained. I mean, I guess we are to a degree, but I mean,
not for the reasons he wants.
No, exactly. I mean, because there's some really kind of funny parts of this one. So let's go ahead and take a look at what he's got to say briefly here.
This is about a God that appointed a man. And you see, I've got enough Italian in me to know what loyalty means. Here's the way it works for me. I love loyalty. Loyalty is a forgotten quality. Donald Trump, you fought for my family. My family will fight for you. You went in that White House.
What was he saying about being Italian?
Yeah,
I'm super confused here. He's like, I got enough Italian in me. Like, what are you talking about?
It's like, I'm in the mafia. I mean, I like loyalty.
Oh, that's what he's saying. He's like, I'm Italian, so therefore, because I'm Italian, I must somehow be related to the mob in a way. So as a result, I therefore then know about loyalty.
Yeah, I think
is that the line of reasoning he's going through?
I truly think that's the line of reasoning.
Why not just say something basic like, I've been married for 15 years, so I understand loyalty?
That is an excellent
That's a good one, right?
Yeah.
Happily married for 15 years. I understand loyalty. I've been a pastor at the same church for 15 years. I understand loyalty.
That's a much better reference than the fucking mafia.
I'm Italian. Well, part of me is like I'm sort of vaguely Italian. My mother told me that there was Italian in me, even though we have no proof, because that's what we do as white Americans. We like to say we're from places, even though we actually don't know. And then I finally pay for a 23andMe test, and then suddenly I'm like, everything I assume was wrong, and it kind of shatters my identity.
It's like 200 different, like, places that he's from, whatever.
Right. But then this conclusion he comes to, he's like, I'm Italian. So because there's some Italian in me, I understand the mob. I wasn't in the mob, but I understand the mob because there's some Italian in me. It's just genetic.
Yeah.
Like, are you saying that being Italian genetically inclines you to functioning like the mob?
Yeah. This guy over here, fucking so unloyal, I don't know if I can do an Italian accent.
Like according to his reasoning, he's like, if you're like 50% Italian, then you're only 50% inclined to break some guy's knees for ratting you out, right?
Yes.
Like that's his line of reasoning, and that's insane.
Oh my God. Yes. Oh man. So let's hear. But listen to what he says about. It's like he talks about. Hold on. He says and it sounds like he's talking about it crushing it. It's really weird. Here, listen.
Okay. You made our economy better. You made our churches better. You allowed us the freedom to choose a vaccine if we wanted one or not. You fought for our freedom, and I'm not about to start second guessing your choices and what you do. If you make a mistake, it'll be on you, sir. But I will be loyal. I'm not a Tino. Oh. I'm not a Valentino. I am a Trump supporter. Why? Because God chose the man, and I've got sense enough to know.
Okay. Oh, hold on. If God, how weak is your God if he's the one, if he chose the man, right? And he fucking lost because, of course, he believes that, that it was stolen by Biden, right? But how weak is your fucking God, dude? If Biden, this, old guy that you guys constantly talk about how he falls asleep all the time, is capable of stealing an entire election.
Right. Well, that's the thing is they never know their arguments, right? So it's either Biden has dementia, he falls asleep all the time, he's completely pointless, has no idea what he's doing at all. This guy's a mess. There's no way he could run a country properly. And then they're like, and then they'll in the next breath they'll say, he stole that election. That man stole that whole election. He stole it from Trump. There's no way he could have won rightfully. You're like, but that would take a mastermind of the most prestigious, like his IQ would be insane. He'd be like so insanely smart if he could mastermind stealing an election in this country like that.
From God.
From God himself. Yeah, he stole the election from God, according to this guy. So he must be like not just completely like next level genius. He's also got some sort of supernatural magic power that somehow trumps their all powerful God.
Yeah, he's like Constantine, but for gods instead of demons. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He's like, I'm going to get you.
There you go.
Know it. Recognize it. I know where the blessing is. Let me tell you something. When you find a blessed man, when you find a blessed ministry, you better plant your feet under that blessing and it will fall down on top of you.
See what I mean?
That sounds dangerous.
Will crush you like a fucking falling statue. Like, what is
it's gonna plant your feet there and wait to be crushed. Well, I mean, is that not like a perfect example of how religion functions?
Right.
Yeah. Believe what we're saying. Stand here. Just hold still. Also, drink this Kool-Aid.
Right. Please. Yeah.
Don't worry. Well, actually, it wasn't Kool-Aid. It was like that off-brand Flavor Aid crap. So.
Oh, right. That's right. It was, Flavor
It wasn't even the good Kool-Aid. Like, no, hell no. Like, I might have been down to that point. I've been like, yeah, man, this story you're telling me is so cool. Like, let's hang out and drink some Kool-Aid. He's like, oh, man, I got this. Man, fuck you, I'm done.
Right. Yeah.
I'm drinking shitty-ass Flavor Aid.
Like, come on, man.
Have you had that stuff? It's gross.
It's the last thing I'm ever going to get to fucking drink, bro.
Right.
And you're going to give me this, like, you know, Kmart garbage?
The off-brand Kool-Aid.
Oh, I'd be frustrated. I'd be very, very upset.
Yeah.
With that.
Wow.
Yeah. What a dick.
Jerk.
You know? But yeah, it's just funny. Like, it's like half the stuff, you know, and it's like, dude, how long has he been going on about this?
Like, you know? A long, long time. Well, I mean, he's just like a white guy with a microphone, so he can just keep talking and talking and talking and not shut up at all, just keep going. And no one's really going to stop him because he has the internet and a microphone, so he can just keep talking and say whatever he wants, even though it has no value at all. And just repeating himself over and over again. Because why would anyone ever do that, especially a white guy with a microphone and a podcast? Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thanks. You're not helping our argument here.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Let's see this comment from Titan Uranus. He said, God chose him, actually. Trump just happened to be walking in front of him when God was pointing. It's like, oh, fuck.
Oh, so like Cupid's arrow. He has to like...
yeah.
Is that what happened? So like Trump and Biden were like at the debates, and it was like a point where they're crossing the stage at the same time when God decided to shoot his arrow of presidential power, and Biden just walked right in the path just in time.
He like scratched his head and it hit his elbow, you know?
That must be what happened. That makes sense.
That's got to be it, you know?
Yeah. God was only half paying attention when he shot his arrow of presidential power.
Right. Exactly.
Duh.
So
it's the only thing that makes any logical sense.
Right. Of course. Logic is really what they
strive for.
Yeah, that's their main thing, you know. They're all about the fucking logic.
You know, that's
for sure.
A common argument tactic that I use on Facebook. Is when I get into an argument with someone with this complete absurd nonsense, all I will I'll link to them like a website that explains the logical fallacies.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, look, you're not going to agree with me. We're going to fight all day about this. We're really not going to get anywhere. I recommend that you just read these and understand them. That's it. That's all I'm asking you. Right. And then I'll just drop it. And maybe they do. Maybe that'll have some good effect. Maybe someone will look at those and go, wait, I do that. I do. I mean, because I've done it. I'm reading up on them and I'm like, oh, crap, dude. You did that.
Yeah. And you know, and it's like half the time, you know, they don't even look at it because they're just like, oh, logic is stupid, you know, and like, you know, that's just them trying to convince themselves that their own brains don't work. Like I've had people say that to me too. Like, oh, you're just trying to convince yourself that your brain doesn't work.
It doesn't. My brain doesn't work.
Like nobody's brain works perfectly, man. Like that's the whole point of fucking logic. You dipshit.
It shouldn't, because I am an animal, and I was designed to live in the wild and protect myself from predators. So my brain does some things naturally.
Right.
That will help protect me from predators that don't actually work out that great in life.
Right. Yeah. And it's exactly. And it's the safe power, actually. You know, it's like the whole 10% of your brain thing. It's like
that's
your brain
cool.
only.
That's not real.
No, well, you only use it 10% at a time because you save time by making these shortcuts, and that's where like a lot of the problems come from. You know.
Well, yeah, because our brains love shortcuts. They love them so much. The easier it is, like our brains are the laziest motherfuckers ever. The less work they have to do to get there, that's where we're at.
Hey, Gregoria, how's it going? It's a friend of the pod.
Watching us live.
Yeah.
For the people that are listening to us after the fact, so they're not confused why Brent is suddenly shouting, "Hey, Gregoria."
Yes, we're reading comments. So that's the hope. But at the end of the day, I've lost faith in educating them, and I don't blame you, honestly, because it's very difficult, to put up with it. Because at the end of the day, they don't want to be educated.
Well, that's why I'm not trying to force it. That's just very much like, here is this link to the logical fallacies. If you have the time, if you have the space, if you care even a little tiny bit, just click on this link, read a little bit now, read a little later. In fact, like, I think all of us should do this, even after you kind of think you know them, unless you've actually really, really gotten into them. Just do that. When you have some free time, look up the logical fallacies, learn more about another one. It will help you grow as a person, critical, rational, logical thinking.
Yeah, it lets you know how your brain works. Which is quite fascinating in my mind. Like, I like to learn shit like that. It's that's right. Gregorius, another Texan.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So another person who's in the worst place to be a leftist, or one of the worst places.
Really,
we're in a competition, like us in Florida and Texas.
Luckily, they walked back on the whole helping your trans kid transition in any way, shape, or form as child abuse. They did walk back on that.
Thank goodness! Holy shit, that was
that
insane.
One. I have teacher friends too, and it made them into mandatory reporters of this.
Right.
And I was reading, and I was actually reading this article. There's like this whole chunk of Texas legislators that are very possibly going to lose their teaching license because they quit before the end of the year before their contract was up, because they didn't want to be forced to be mandatory reporters. So they just like, quit. I'm done. I can't do this.
Right.
So they may lose their teaching license as a result.
Wow, that's fucked up. Just because they didn't want to have to do the bigoted bullshit.
Yeah, they're like, I refuse to be a bigot.
Wow, that's insane.
And good for them, and I'm proud of them, and I'm glad they did it. But hopefully things aren't too rough for them.
Yeah, seriously, because that sucks. That's pretty awful. We do have here a video of a. This is probably the weirdest. Okay, so this is QAnon theory, and I'm gonna leave. You know how I normally maximize the thread, right, or the video. I'm not gonna do that this time because this dude knows enough about this insane fucking conspiracy that he kind of explains it in the thread. So let's go. I'm going to go ahead and share it.
I was kind of worried at first because you were like, I found this video. It's the weirdest. And I thought that you had found my home videos for a second.
Oh, no, not those. I mean, those are the weirdest.
Okay. Thank you.
They are the weirdest.
Yeah. But we agreed not to air them on the show.
QAnon.
Okay.
So that's it's a qualifier. That's
important.
But those home videos were wow. Didn't even know you were allowed to do that type. I didn't know that was legal in Texas, actually. But so this is okay. So this is some sovereign citizen type of stuff.
Oh, right? Even
better. But let's play the video first, and then let's go back and try to decipher this, okay? Because it's batshit. Like, this is insane.
So how do they get you to pledge your child, and how did our parents and our grandparents pledge us as property, as surety in our personification, all capital names? It was through a evil satanic ritual called the birth of a child.
What?
Okay. You see, a mother goes into a foundling center.
Let's stop right there. How is the birth of a child a satanic ritual? That's just something that happens in nature. Like, that's just a birth. Like, everything more.
They said something about a foundling center.
A foundling center.
Yeah,
I thought there was a changeling, and that's where they switch them out for like a
scroll
demon.
It back. Scroll it back like a little bit and hit play again.
Okay. Let me try this again.
Because I want to hear this clearly. Okay. That's good enough. That's good enough.
Names was through a evil satanic ritual called the birth of a child. You see, a mother goes into a foundling center.
Yeah, you're right.
And she goes to see the dock tour. A tour is a bill of lading when a ship arrives at the dock.
What?
Wait, fucking what? How do you get from? Wait, what are we talking? We're talking about boats now. Is that where we're at?
Okay.
Like, so is all of this just to like relate to like just random bullshit?
I don't even know.
Wow.
So basically, he's saying that a tour is a bill of lading and a dock is for a ship. But what does he even mean by foundling center? Is this just one of those cases of the crazier things I say, the more believable it sounds? Because how can you even double check such a thing?
I got an American flag behind me, so it's, you gotta listen to me. This is the way it goes. That's the rules.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at like the etymology of doctor, it has nothing to do with anything he's saying.
No,
like it goes all the way back to like old school Latin, essentially.
Right. Yeah, this makes no and it gets even crazier like as it goes, and then the explanation is even more insane. It's just here we go. It's batshit.
And the mother puts her feet up on the stirrups, and the mother's water breaks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Except no, actually.
There you go.
Oh wait,
so,
and the mother.
No. That happens way before.
No. If you actually look at the statistics, a woman's water rarely breaks. They actually frequently have to break it when you're in the hospital.
No shit, really?
These days, yeah.
Oh wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, like the media thing you see where a woman's out in public and her water suddenly breaks, that actually does not happen that often.
So that's only in sitcoms, huh?
Right.
It's like a sitcom trope.
It's a sitcom trope because, of course, then you clearly know she's going to have a baby.
Okay. All right. Huh.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That is that's quite fascinating.
Now I'm trying to find out like the exact details
of like what he's trying to relate this to.
No. Water breaking. So according to this thing, only about 15% of women have their membranes rupture at all before labor begins.
Wow. So Gregoria had for both of her a water broke. But they both came early. Okay.
So how often does a woman's water break on its own? This occurs in about 8 to 10% of women.
Wow, you're part of the minority, Gregoria. Jeez. That's crazy.
So like 10% is actually a fairly small number.
Yeah.
When you're talking about every pregnant woman.
It's 1 out of 10, right?
What?
1 out of 10 pregnant women.
Basically, yeah.
10%, right? All right, let's finish this.
Mother's water breaks, and the child comes out of the water through the birth canal.
Oh, like another
birth
water
a ship,
like
into the air, into the hands of the dock tour.
Oh my!
And then, historically speaking, a satanic ritual would take place. The child was smacked on the butt, turned upside down, cried out in fear and pain.
That's a satanic ritual.
And then before the child...
Wait. I think this guy just admitted that spanking children is wrong. That's what I just heard.
He said it was a satanic ritual.
He said you turn them upside down and you spank them, causing them pain, which is a bad thing to do to a child. I think this guy just said spanking children is bad. That's what I heard.
I think you might be right. Yeah. I think you're absolutely
But also,
right.
there's a piece of information he's missing here.
He's in with this.
You do know that not all children that are born came through the vaginal canal, right? He doesn't know this, right?
I know.
There's this procedure called the cesarean section. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A C-section.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole procedure. I watched it on one of my children. It was fascinating. I watched the whole thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
They just cut right in there and they just go after it. Like, it's wild.
Jeez.
They actually have this like device now that like goes in there and it like holds it open. I was like talking to the doctor about it. She's like, yeah, this is pretty new. I love this thing. It's hilarious and wonderful.
Just goes in there, just sucks it right out.
It like helps hold open like the cut open. It's like this round thing. It's insane. And she's like, yeah, this thing's great. We're just like chatting with the doctor. She's like cutting in, just going after it. But yeah, so does the baby have to come out through a natural birth to be part of the satanic ritual, or is it all just the hanging it down?
Well, do they spank the butt of the kids that come out from a C-section?
No, because they don't really need to necessarily do that. It's just an old school thing that they used to do. And of course, there's good reasoning on it. So basically, what you want to do is you're hanging the baby upside down because the baby may have water, liquid in its lungs that you have to like hang them upside down. So of course, then all the liquid goes down. It's called gravity. It's a very simple concept. You see it in action every single day. Huh. And the padding isn't necessarily patting them on the butt. And the reason they want them to cry is because it helps clear all the liquid out of the lungs.
Oh, okay. More things I did not know.
Yeah.
I do not have nor want children.
Yeah. That's okay.
Wow, that's fascinating. Okay, well, here let's.
God could put their feet on the land and take the breath of God as a free creation of God. A legal bond document came out. It's on bond paper because it's a banking instrument. It's a surety bond. And the child's soul was taken on the back of that document. It was called the soul print.
The soul print?
And then the umbilical cord and the afterbirth was thereby dead and abandoned by the mother. And because that was part of your birth, part of you being born, the construct, the evil says that now that is dead. A part of you died, and now you're a dead vessel. You're an all capital legal fiction.
Okay, but how in the world is the placenta not supposed to die? Am I supposed to keep part of myself alive? When I was born, they were supposed to plug my umbilical cord and
most of the time the placenta just comes walking out and it's like, hey, my name's Placenti. And I'm a good
right, and I'm your best friend. That's why I felt like I had no friends. I didn't have Placenti to be my friend.
I took over for Clippy, you know.
If part of your body is dead, right? Like, so aren't you like essentially, according to this guy?
Yeah.
What is it like? Every 7-8 years, all the cells in your body are replaced, something like that, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not 100% sure if this is true, but heard it. So, but if it is true,
I think it is. Yeah.
Then you're like pretty much dead every 7 years, right? A lot of you is died. Right. Like, according to this guy, why did he cut his hair? That's a part of him.
Right.
Why does he cut his hair? A part of him is dead.
That's dead and dying, and it's not, you know. And it's like, so this guy says, check this out. He says, I can explain most of this. Bobby Lawrence, a sovereign citizen guru who has courted QAnoners, is describing a variant of redemption theory. Redemption theory is a set of sovereign citizen beliefs released by another guru, Roger Elvick, in 1999, which became wildly popular.
Okay. But Brent, he didn't explain anything.
But basic redemption theory is something like this. In 1933, the U.S. went off the gold standard. We've all heard this. And could therefore no longer pay its debts to the international bankers. To get around this, the government turned humans into collateral by converting birth certificates into stock. The certificates, they did this in part by creating fictional duplicates of every person's dubbed straw men. Dubbed straw men, that's what they're saying. But you can tell when a document refers to the straw man instead of the flesh and blood person, because of the name will be in all caps, not upper and lower case. So Mark like he's just saying like his name in all caps, and that's like the conspiracy theory behind this, like because if you look at the Right Wing Watch,
so how do they get you to pledge your child, and how did our
so Right Wing Watch is this like at QAnon Patriots Arise event attended by GOP candidates Doug Mastriano, Teddy Daniels, and Doug Cox last weekend. Bobby Lawrence delivered a speech so utterly bizarre that we are at a loss to even explain what he was talking about.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. But this dude was like, oh, I got this. I know this.
He's literally just using like loose reasoning. He's like, tour. I heard that was a bill of lading and then the dock. So that's what it is. But it's like, honestly, like doctor is basic, like old school Latin, right? Like means like learned one, right? Like, things. That's your whole point. That's what doctor comes from for a long time, long before this gold standard and this other nonsense was going on. Yeah. So how is this your smoking gun and your proof like the doc?
Dude, this is apophenia like at its worst. Like this is just people making connections like dock tour.
Yeah.
Dock, like you dock into the canal. You dock in the canal. What the fuck is going on? Like you're just making connections to like what about other languages? Genius. Like they don't have words that.
And he literally just thought that like people are coming into these centers to birth their children and when so here's my biggest thing. Okay. We hear this a lot about these things that they are so sure, so positive are satanic rituals. If they're not satanic, how are they so sure? Only one way you could be sure. If some guy said to me like, hey, I used to be like full into satanic rituals and dark magic, and now I believe in the good word of Jesus, right? And this is a satanic ritual that used to go on, I'm more inclined to believe him. But guy that's been like sovereign citizen or pastor his whole life, who's saying this is a definitely 1,000% a satanic ritual, how do you know? How are you so sure?
You got to make up bullshit connections. That's what you got to do. Oh, man, I hate to cut it short, but we got to get off because we got to stop before an hour so that we can share this around on some other streams.
Yeah. So people like, hour, it's more than an hour. I don't like it.
Yeah, well, and it keeps us from being able to share it. Like, even if you're like 2 seconds over, it's like, oops, can't share it on Twitch. So, jerks. Well, thank you all so much for watching, and check out our little outro here. We got a new outro.
It's like the intro, but shorter.
But yeah.
The Progressive House Podcast.
Podcast.
I love it.
Me
too. That's great.